Hello, good morning, viewers. This is Saraswati, PhD English. I welcome you all in online classes of Haredi Group of Schools. So, students, today I'm going to teach a very wonderful topic, that is the Labrunum Top by Tad Hughes. This is second poem of Hornbill takes supplementary reader of 11th class. So, this is very important. As you know, poetry in itself always has the essence of life in itself. It is somewhere something has very significant and specific that always give the preaching, knowledge and power in every aspect of life. So I'm repeating the same thing in this poem, that how certain objectives are specific for the readers of this poem. So objectives of this poem. So students, in this poem will discuss about all the objectives, literary devices used in the poem, all the difficult terminology, line to line explanation and its literary devices. So now it's time to explain the objectives of the poem. First is to understand the importance of power of energy, and to aware the learners about the new bird goldfinch, to know about the power of nature, to understand all the new terms and literary devices used in the poem. So students, this is quite simple. That means the objectives of this poem are that it means we will come to know about the actual power of nature, the power of energy and the strength, what actually they perform their role in our life. Next is about point. So Thaddeus was born on August 17, 1930 in Yorkshire, England. In 1956, he met future wife Sylvia Plath at a launch party for a literary magazine he confounded. He published his first book, The Hawk in the Rain. A year later, he left Plath in 1962 and remarried in 1970. By the time he died on October 28, 1998, in London, England, he had written more than a dozen books, including poetry and non-fiction. So we can say that poet means Tad Hughes was highly influencing poet who credited a lot in his favor by devoting the greater part of his writings to English literature. So now students, next is the theme of the poem. So what is theme? So theme in itself consists of very little, or we can say summarized form of any topic. So what is theme? The poem The Labrunum Top by Tad Hughes describes a mutual relationship between a laburnum tree, which is large, beautiful but quite alone, and a goldfinch bird, which is quite amusing, beautiful but without a shelter. The laburnum tree gives the house to the bird and its young chicks, and the bird in turn takes away its dead silence. Thus, the poet here in the poem wants to tell the reader the importance of living with each other. Every person has different capabilities and things. We should live with each other and always try to lend a helping hand, and the others will also do the same. So in this poem specifically, it is defined that it means every aspect, every object of nature has its own power, its own particular quality. So we cannot ignore anyone, because all are important, all are essential for our life. So now we will do explanation of the poem. So before explanation, students, I want to share one thing, that in this laburnum top poem, what is the actual background? There is one tree, that's name is laburnum. So that is in Hindi is called the amaltas tree, I think. So on this, that laburnum top, that is quite very beautiful with yellow flowers, because it's autumn season, so all the leaves has fallen and everything is quite visible on the tree. And on the tree, a lizard enters there, just like a lizard, a goldfinch enters there, and she creates sensation in the tree. So whatever happens in that moment, that is defined in the poem. So the laburnum top is silent, quite still in the afternoon yellow September sunlight. So student, the laburnum top, it means the top of the amalthas tree. Top of amalthas tree is silent. It means the laburnum top is silent. The tree is quite silent. There is no movement. There, silent, quite still means without any movement, without any kind of disturbance. It is quite silent. In the afternoon, yellow September sunlight. So it's September month and it's autumn season and afternoon time is there and yellow September sunlight. It means the quiet sunlight is there. The sky is quite clear. It's autumn season. All the leaves of the trees have fallen, and at that time a few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen, even including its seeds had fallen, only a few yellow leaves were there on the tree. Till the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirp, a suddenness, a startlement at a branch end, then sleek as a lizard, and alert and abrupt. Till the goldfinch comes, it means on that tree, it means laburnum top, it was quite silent. There was no any kind of movement there, no disturbance, nothing was there. But as the goldfinch bird enters the air with a twitching chirp, it means he was chirping, he was creating his own sound. A suddenness, it means suddenly, with amusing statement, surprising at a branch end, it means how silently it enters and sits at the branch end. Then sleek as a lizard, it means it enters in the thickness of the tree just like a lizard without observing anyone else. And alert and abrupt, he is very alert, and abrupt means very sudden, silent. She enters the thickness and a machine starts up of chittering, and a tremor of wings. Tremor means it means a kind of sensation of wings and trailings. It is the engine of our family. So, students, poet is saying that it means all together in the silent, still tree, that is laburnum top. When this bird enters, it creates a realm. It's a kind of tuning. It's a kind of melodious kind of sound, and that is chirping sound, and it makes complete environment very easy and comfortable. And until the goldfinch comes with a twitching chirp or sudden stir, then until the tree was quite silent without any reason, without anything. And she enters. As she enters in the thickness, just like a machinery, it creates the sensation in it. So, students, let's see this line. It means chittering and tremor of wings and trailing, the whole tree trembles. So, here figure of speech, alliteration, TT, the same sound is repeated. So, students, do you know what is alliteration? Alliteration is a figure of speech which defines the same consonant sound after each the. So, tree trembles and thrills. So here tree trembles, that is the figure of speech alliteration. The whole tree trembles and thrills. It is the engine of our family. So student, let's come on the second line. That is, it is the engine of our family. It means that goldfinch bird is working just like an engine or energy for her family. Means for her family, that is functioning as an engine. So that is figure of speech metaphor also. Showing a barred face, identity mask. It means showing her barred face. It means the goldfinch bird enters in the thickness of the tree and behind the yellow flowers of the tree, and she hides herself. Then, with delicate whistle, chirp, whispering, she launches away towards the infinite. Then, with delicate whistle, chirp, whistling, but it's delicate, soft air, different kind of whistling, kind of chirping that creates a real sensation. She launches away towards the infinite. It means after creating the sensation in the tree, it goes away from the air and the laburnum subsides to empty. Subsides means remains, and still laburnum tree becomes quite empty without anything. So, yes, students, what is the conclusion of the poem or the summary of the poem? So, poet is saying that really nature is very powerful because goldfinch bird is a part of nature. So nature is really very powerful. It's create the sensation. Second thing, that everything, whether it is small in size or long in size, whether it is so important or it is very petty, but everything has its own importance. In the same manner, as we find that the goldfinch bird, that is quite very light in its color, and how it enters in the thickness of tree creates the sensation, and it makes the tree complete energetic and enthusiastic, but as it leaves the tree again it becomes silent and quite silent. There is no any kind of excitement there. So the poet is defining this poem that laburnum top, it means which was quite silent and still, was completely made happy, and sensation was created by goldfinch bird and made it and gifted it a real life. So now students, it's turn to discuss the literary devices. So what is literary devices, what is metaphor, what is personification? So all these things are discussed in this poem. So yes students, so I think you understood this poem, and now it's time to say goodbye. So bye, thank you, and have a nice day.